This video demonstrates the change management application in the ServiceNow platform and explains how it aligns to change management as ITIL describes it. Linked timecodes for these topics appear in the YouTube description for this video. According to the ITIL framework, the most widely accepted approach to IT service management, the purpose of change management is to control the lifecycle of all changes, enabling beneficial changes to be made with minimum disruption to IT services. And the definition of change is the addition, modification, or removal of anything that could have an effect on IT services. Some changes result from users experiencing an interruption or degradation in an IT service. They report these issues to IT, where they're logged as incidents. IT personnel analyze these incidents. When they see a set of incidents related to the same underlying cause, like a network issue, they may create a problem in the system to identify the underlying cause. The idea is that by fixing the single problem, all the related incidents will be resolved. When the underlying cause is identified, a change request is created to manage the introduction of the beneficial change. The change request describes the needed change and plan for executing it. The result of this process is a set of incidents, an underlying problem, and a change request to fix the problem. Sometimes, a change request is generated directly from an incident instead of a problem. For example, here's a Priority 1 incident affecting a critical business service, email. In this case, it makes sense to create an emergency change to reboot the non-responsive mail server. Fixing an issue is a common, but not the only, use case for change management. Change requests may also be created for other reasons, like maintaining or upgrading hardware or software. For example, we might replace our old router with a new one to boost range and speed, or upgrade our enterprise productivity software suite to the latest version. Such changes may originate as change requests instead of being spawned from incident or problem records. The ServiceNow change management application is aligned with the ITIL framework to provide the flexibility needed for these and other use cases. The change management process helps your organization plan and schedule the tasks associated with the change, obtain approvals, and track the performance of those tasks. According to the ITIL framework, there are 3 change types. Standard change, a pre-authorized change that's low risk, relatively common, and follows a procedure or work instruction. Emergency change, a change that must be implemented as soon as possible, for example, to resolve a major incident or implement a security patch. And normal change, any service change that isn't a standard change or an emergency change. In the ServiceNow change management application, each change type has its own workflow and state model, which support the process unique to that change type. Standard change requests follow a procedure that's specified in a template, which is approved through a proposal process. After the template has been approved, users can order the change through the standard change catalog. Emergency changes skip right to an authorization state requesting approval to ensure that they get implemented as soon as possible. Normal changes require approval from the assignment group prior to requesting a second level of approval for authorization to implement the change. Here, we're logged into our ServiceNow instance as David Harris, who has the ITIL role. We've been working on a Priority 1 problem involving a down mail server, and we need to create a change request to get the server patched. We can do that directly from the problem record. Because it's a Priority 1 problem, we'll create an emergency change. The priority is critical because this issue affects an essential service, but the risk of this change is low. Many users are impacted, so we'll change this to high. Let's clarify the short description and add a description, and assign it to David Harris in the server group. On the Planning tab, we fill out these fields so that the change manager can make an informed decision when approving this request. We want to make this change as soon as possible, so we schedule it for today between 3 and 5 o'clock. This instance is configured to use a 24-hour clock. After we request approval, the request is in authorized state, waiting for approval. We may get a warning. This is because the change schedule falls outside the maintenance window for this CI. But in this case, that's okay because the mail server is currently down and this is an emergency change to restore it to service. After the change request is authorized and scheduled, we implement it, and then conduct a post-implementation review of the change's lifecycle and results. Finally, we close it, filling in the required closure information. We can also create a change request directly without going through an incident or problem. The change types here reflect those defined in the ITIL framework. Standard changes present a great opportunity for the change management team to improve efficiency. Moving common, low-risk changes with repeatable implementation steps and a proven history of success from normal to standard changes allows the team to put more focus on IT or business changes that are higher risk and impact. Standard changes follow a shorter life cycle than other changes because they're pre-approved, which allows them to bypass the peer approval and authorization approval steps. The requester simply fills out a template with many pre-populated fields, including the prescribed implementation plan, backup plan, and test plan. After completing the form, the requester clicks Schedule, which sets the workflow in motion to initiate the change. Any user with the Change Manager or ITIL role can propose a standard change template, which then goes through a review and approval process before it becomes available in the standard change catalog. Here are the standard change templates that have been approved in our instance. Automating these changes has streamlined our change management operations. You can define additional standard changes in your instance to meet your organization's needs. For more information, please consult our product documentation, knowledge base, or podcast, or ask a question in the ServiceNow community.